We have joining us Colby Duran, who is the director, and Aaron Parker, who is the research director and staff attorney of the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative coming from Arkansas. And I'd like to welcome them up here and just acknowledge the incredible work that has happened out of this institute that has really been leading Indian country in ensuring our food sovereignty and our relationship with the land. So thank you so much for the work that you've been doing, and I'm excited to hear from you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Colby Duran. I'm the director of the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative at the University of Arkansas, and joined by our research director and staff attorney, Aaron Parker. We're very excited to be here just to talk a little bit about our Model Food Code project and some of the other work that we do, but just by way of, I think, a little bit of a quick introduction about who we are and the work that we do. We were established in 2013 at the University of Arkansas's School of Law by now Vice Chancellor Stacy Leeds and founding director Janie Sims Hipp, who I know all of you know. And I will say both of those incredible women will be here this morning. So if you see them, please give them a big thank you and a shout out for all the work that we're able to do for the code production. All of that is really possible because of their incredible vision and strength in being able to put together such an incredible initiative and work and foundation. Our mission and work is really be able to help enhance health and wellness in tribal communities by supporting healthy food systems, diversified economic development, and supporting cultural food traditions throughout Indian country. And we kind of try to summarize that by saying we're really trying to put the tribal sovereignty in food sovereignty. And we do that by using strategic legal analysis, policy research, developing educational resources that really seek to try to empower Indian country. And we do a lot of different work. Some of you may be familiar with our policy support as the research partner of the Native Farm Bill Coalition, as some of the work that we do with our Native Youth and Agriculture Leadership Summit, which has just passed its 6th year. And I know we have a lot of alums in the room. So if there's any alums in the room, please stand up who've gone through the Native Youth Summit. Yeah, we have a couple folks here. I know Meg was part of that as well, too, who was just up on stage. So it's incredible to see those youth doing amazing things. But one of the things we're really here to talk about is our Model Tribal Food and Agriculture Code project. And it's something that is so large that the printer wouldn't print it in just one volume. So we have 2 volumes of it. But this is something that was envisioned by our founding director, Janie. It took about 3 years plus of work and a large team of folks, advisors as well, led by Aaron, who will be talking a little bit about the code's development and how it worked. But this is really meant to be a free resource for tribal governments to provide as comprehensive, as you can see, a set of laws to be able to adopt and at any particular place within food production, food protection, really trying to help enhance this tribal sovereignty and being able to help promote food sovereignty as well. It's really designed by us at the initiative and by the contributing attorneys, looking at different things with agriculture production, food systems development, healthy outcomes, and pretty much everything under the sun. I mean, it's about probably as comprehensive as we could potentially make it. And I think that we've continued to identify additional codes and titles that we wanted to be able to add to it. But these things don't just happen. This was an incredible project that had a substantial amount of support, and we'd like to thank all of the people who stepped in to help support make this happen. First, the Shakopee, Metawakan, and Sioux community, their Seeds of Native Health campaign contributed to this to be able to make it so successful. Our friends at the Agua Fund, Inc., Farm Credit Foundation, Mazone, a Jewish Response to Hunger, the Novo Foundation, and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. So thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much to Shakopee for really making this happen. We also have a substantial number of partners as well, and you'll be hearing from several of them in our panel discussion about what they're doing in their communities with code work and food sovereignty and protecting their resources and food production. But the Columbia River Intertribal Fishery Commission, Intertribal Agriculture Council, Blackfeet Tribe, Menominee Nation, Quapaw Nation, the Great Lakes Indian Tribal Fish and Wildlife Commission, NCAI, NARF, and of course the Public Health Law Center as well. And so with that, I'd like to hand it over to Aaron Parker to talk about the code's development and kind of how to use it. Thank you.
Thank you, Colby, and good morning, everyone. I'm going to see if I can figure out this technology. Also, I'm very short and I can't see the screen that has my slides on it, so we're just gonna go with it. Hopefully, yes, what you can see on the screen is what's in the model code. Again, as Colby said, what we kind of envisioned this project to be, and what our founding director Janie Sims-Hipp envisioned this project to be when we first started it, was really for us and all of our partners in this work to create a resource for tribal governments who are looking to express their sovereignty in the space of food and agriculture and protect the lands, the natural resources, and the people that have been sustaining tribal food systems and protecting traditional foods and foodways since time immemorial. So that's really what this resource is designed to be. We know it's probably not a one-stop shop because it is supposed to be an evolving document, so I'm sure at some point we'll have 3 volumes and we'll have to get another person up on the stage to carry that as well, because this is supposed to be a living document. But what you can see on the screen are the 19 chapters that we wrote for this first initial round of volumes 1 and 2 of this food code. You can see a lot of different subject matter areas are covered in there. We tried to cover kind of from farm to fork in this first pass of our food code. And each of these 19 chapters has multiple sections. We didn't put all of them up on the screen because it would be several more slides long, and we wanted to save some time for the amazing individuals who are going to come up next and talk about the policy work that they're doing in their tribal nations all over Indian country. But you can see here just a few things. We have some notes on, thank you so much for adjusting that screen down there. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm good now, thank you. So we have some traditional foods and seeds protections, draft laws in here, some health and nutrition policy draft laws. I'm going to show you a sneak peek of that here at the end of my presentation. But really what these, again, are designed just as a starting point, a foundational resource for tribal nations who are doing the work of putting policy into action to promote food sovereignty and preserve and revitalize tribal communities all over Indian country. And if I can figure out which button goes to the next slide. I think it is that one. So part of what the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative is set up to do is be a resource for tribal nations, for individual Native farmers and ranchers, for people who are doing food work all over Indian country. And in this context, for the Model Food and Agriculture Code, we are available to help with technical assistance. Most of our team are attorneys who specialize in food and agriculture for Indian country, so we can help provide some strategic planning if you're thinking of doing food code, whether you're using this document or not. If you're doing tribal policy in food and agriculture and you want research help, any kind of analysis of existing federal, tribal, state law, to think as you're thinking about crafting your own policies for your own tribal nations and your own communities, we're happy to help lift some of the research burden of that work. We know it can be very labor intensive, so we're happy to be a resource for that. In terms of accessing this thing, probably you don't want a giant printout to carry back with you in your suitcase. So we actually put everything up on the internet. You can access our code for free. This is a free resource for Indian country. Tribalfoodcode.com is the website that you can go to look at the code, to look at all of these sections. You can download the whole thing in one go, all 1,000 pages of it, if you are a super nerd like me, or if you want to take this piece by piece and just look at the pieces that are maybe most relevant to the work that you're doing right now in your community. You can look at each individual section separately as well and download those things also. Signing up for an account, again, is free. We did put it kind of behind a wall just to protect it a little bit. So all you have to do is sign up for a free account. We approve that on the back end, and you're good to go, and you can view the whole code. So this is the sneak preview that I mentioned, and I'd like to give, I don't know if she's here, but I'd like to give a shout out to Julie Rosslyn Aoki from the Public Health Law Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. I don't know if you're here, I saw your name on the agenda, but we love Julie, and she was an amazing contributor to this work. We're really happy to have the Public Health Law Center as a partner in drafting this code. And so this is from the Chapter 3 of the Food Code, the Health and Nutrition section, which we thought would be super relevant to the work that we're all doing here today. This is part of the Community Gardening Act that's included in that, and so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a preview of what you would actually see if you went to the code website and you were looking and browsing around. So this is an actual piece of the food code that we drafted, and this is an actual piece of the laws, the model laws that are contained there as a resource. So you can kind of see what it looks like and get that sneak peek and hopefully whet your legal appetite to go and download the entire thing. Thank you, by the way, for helping us start your morning with like some good and crunchy like law. Thank you so much for letting us do that. I really appreciate it. But that's us, really. We just wanted to give you a little bit of a preview, and I know we did really want to try to save some time for all of the people who are doing this amazing policy work all across Indian country. So Colby, if you have anything else you want to add?
Thank you, Aaron, for that overview. And we're happy, we'll be here for the conference, so we're happy to answer any questions that folks have about the code and accessing it as well, and any technical assistance or support you may be interested in. But as Aaron said, we wanted to make sure we have plenty of time for the distinguished panel that we'll have and the presentations that we have coming forward.